You know who our next perfect storyteller is going to be?
No, but
We'll find out.
Andrea CK.
Perfection!
Another Andrea, but the CK one.
Oh, Andrea's going to get
Where'd she go?
what she get. No, music stand. All right. Please welcome Andrea!
the name tag. I'm Andrea.
Okay, well, I'm really excited to be here. And the story that I'm going to tell is called Very Age. So when I was a rebellious young teenager growing up in Minneapolis, my dad owned a gay bar downtown. And I lived out in the suburbs. And his restaurant was actually, it was two bars under the same liquor license. On the one side, it was called the Gay 90s. And the Gay 90s was the kind of a place that people went to. They had a lawn bar, they had a stage show, they had a kitchen and back, and in front of the kitchen there was, tables, and along that side there was tables. So during the day, it was the kind of place that people from out of town and conventions would go into to get steak and whiskey and a hooker. And at night there was a floor show. They closed the kitchen and there was a floor show, live band, and female impersonators and strippers. And some of them were just advertising their prostitution business, which also took place on the premises but wasn't licensed. The other side of the Gay 90s was called the Happy Hour, and ironically the Happy Hour was a little gay bar. It was an intimate little gay bar, and the bathrooms were shared, so good luck in the bathrooms. Like, my dad would not allow me to go into the bathrooms. I had to wait until the hookers were done in the front office, and then I could use the bathroom in there. So, that's the Gay 90s. Now, as a teenager in the suburbs, whose dad owns a gay bar and a sex club, basically, I was very popular, and I dated heavily, that's what we called it. And it was very convenient for bi-curious men, mostly Jewish guys, who could, try out for the hetero team. And then if that didn't work out, they could go downtown with me and try out for the other team. So I actually helped a number of young men sort of decide which team they were going to play on. That was how I got my start in the helping professions. And, of the three gentlemen that I helped in that way, two of them went gay, and one of them went Orthodox. Yeah, and that's still the ratio, actually. So for every 3 friends I have, 2 are gay and 1 is Orthodox. That's still my quota. One of the young men I helped in this way is Barry H. Barry H. was part of the same gang. We ran around together. Our parents trusted us way too much, but anyways, Barry was such a dear friend of mine. I'm going to call back to Lily's story. Barry H. is the one that explained to me about the expanding universe while we were both tripping on window pane acid. We'll never forget that afternoon. So Barry basically asked me if I would sleep with him so he could kind of decide for sure. And it did not go well. He basically seemed repulsed by the unfamiliar sights and sounds and smells and tastes, and God knows what was not working for him there, but sadly for me, the good ones get away, because he was truly a good one. So once Barry made the big decision, he had to move to LA because his mother was Mrs. H, Shirley. And Shirley would be standing like this with like an apron and a spatula in one hand at all times of the day, all days of the week, going, Barry never brings around any nice girlfriends. And so Barry had to move to Los Angeles the minute he graduated high school. And he was my first friend actually to get on national television. He tried out for the Gong Show, and he got on the Gong Show doing his singing, dancing telegram thing and he got gonged on the Gong Show, and he was my first friend to get onto national television. We're very proud of him. So, you know, he would come home once in a while to visit Shirley and the siblings, and, you know, Mrs. H. And when he came home, we went dancing. We went to the club. Because when the gay rights movement kind of progressed quite a bit, my dad eventually fired all the strippers. The ones that were female impersonators could stay. They had a role, right? But they took out the restaurant tables in the back, and they put in a dancing floor in there with a disco ball. So we would go down and we would go dancing. So we were both pretty fit on this one trip. I was taking dance in college, and he was a singing, dancing telegram guy, so he kept it up. And oh, what a beautiful man. He was tall with blue eyes and curly black hair, just light, and his eyes were just teasing, attracting, and playing at all times. He was so beautiful. And so we get out there and we're like doing a little of this and a little of that, and then he kind of starts, you know, he's leading, so he kind of woofs me out and kind of woofs me back, and I go, oh, we did that, that's kind of cool. And he starts with a couple of these, and then we started with a couple of these, and after a while we're like really taking up a lot of it, and I'm thinking, we're not bumping into anybody, why is it not happening? What's it like? And I kind of looked around, and all the glitter from the glitter ball and the moment, all the other men on the dance floor were standing in a gigantic circle clapping for us. And somehow, in the very last moment, like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, I ended up like schlepped out over his knee, like in this position. It was amazing. It was a peak experience. And oh, the clapping and the extolling, and like 14 men came over to me and said, oh, Andrea, introduce me to that dreamy man. So I was a rebellious young teenager. By this time I was a sophomore in college. There was no safer place for me to be than in my dad's gay bar on the arms of a beautiful man.